So hello again. So today is the hand shapes of D and E. Now remember, D is like this. It is the index and the middle finger and the thumb. It is different from the F. Do you see the difference? It may take a little practice because most people want to do this for D, but this is D. It's not really hard. It just takes a little practice. E also takes a little bit of practice. A lot of people want to do E or E, but it's E, and you just want to put all of your fingers onto the thumb. That's how you practice it. And so see how it looks. If you did E or E, it looks more like an O. E. And there's not very many, so that's why I decided to combine them. So the first one, remember when we did political parties, when we did conservative, it was a C on the right. D for Democrat. Now, if you're just talking about a Democrat, I would use my right hand. If you were going to talk about a Republican and a Democrat, then I would use the difference. Just because the Republicans on the right are in Congress and the Democrats are on the left. And so you just kind of want to keep that in mind if you're discussing political parties. And then the next one is a fun one, is diamond, because that's a girl's best friend, right? So a D for diamond, and it's on your left hand where usually women wear diamonds like for an engagement ring. In that same vein, I'm going to kind of overlap for E. So if you are engaged, it's an E, and it's on the same finger where the diamond would be. Diamond, engagement. Oh, I got engaged recently. Oh, let me see your diamond. That kind of thing. And then dinner. So strong ASL is mostly like morning eat, noon eat, and evening eat. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But now I'm seeing more deaf are using, because I'm hearing people will use it, they'll use breakfast, the B hand shape, L hand shape for lunch, and D for dinner. And so that's used. Also up here on the mouth is used for dentist. You can see dentist this way, and I didn't show that earlier, or dentist across the teeth because they work on the teeth. Dentist. A D hand shape. This is more like the shot, right? So dentist and A hand shape for dentist, or D for dentist. So I forgot that one earlier. Dormitory. The sign for home is the lips to the cheek. And back, this is a deaf culture thing, the deaf children were sent to a deaf school. So they, the moms would give them a kiss on the cheek. So home. So that was this, they just manufactured that sign for home. And so now dormitory, whether you're in the college or the deaf school, is a D hand shape in the same motion, home, dormitory, because that's where you live, as a dormitory. So that's a little bit of a deaf culture. Detective. Now remember we did the C hand shape for policeman, cop, if you wanted to use that, or cop, and the D is for detective. We did dog, which is your open hand shape, and then you're snapping your fingers, but it does start out with a D. So they kind of say that's a D hand shape, but your dog. And a lot of times they don't slap their leg anymore, they just do dog. Now for the E hand shape. E for east. So there is kind of a little bit of a controversy. Like if I am talking to you and people talking about east and west, north and south, I'm using it from my perspective because the east is to the right. Some people who work in the schools, they want to do it backwards where it's the student's perspective. So they would do east and west. But for me, that kind of confuses my brain. And if they're looking on the map, the east is to the right. And I think that helps people remember east is on the right and west is to the left because that's how the sun rises and sets. So for me, that's a little bit easier. So I do east on the right. Emergency. But you got to use your facial expressions, and the reason why is because some people go, oh, excuse me, like, you know, you're in a crowd, you're at a party, excuse me, you're trying to get through, or you need to go to the restroom, or something like that. So people will have done that for excuse me, but Emergency. Sometimes you could do E for emergency because it would be like for the sirens. Emergency. Oh, it's an emergency. Oh my gosh, I just need to go. Emergency. Also in the kind of the same handshake, Easter. Easter. Now you could do Easter with one hand or Easter with two hands. And that sign comes from the sign for Sunday. Touch and then go down. It's because it's the stained glass windows. Sunday. And this is a very Texas sign. Some people will do this and it's not that. It's really you're going for the windows. So Easter is kind of in that same vein because it's on a Sunday and it's the windows, like you're washing the windows. But Easter, you can do it one-handed or both-handed. Elevator. And so, of course, an elevator goes up or down. So it goes up or down. And this is the stationary, like the cord, you can kind of think of that way. And the elevator is the box and it goes up or down. It's the same thing for like temperature, but elevator. So I went up the elevator. You wouldn't go up and down. I mean, if you were telling the story like, oh, and so then I got on the elevator and went to the second floor. So that's how you would describe that. Or I was on like the third floor and I took the elevator down to the ground floor or the first floor. So that's how you would do that. You're up. Your E hand shape, and right here around your right forehead. If you were left-handed, it would be up here. So and I go around this way because it's more natural for me. It would be kind of strange to go counterclockwise, but it wouldn't be wrong. I just probably would not have seen that. So it's more natural to go to the right for Europe. And then that's the end of our D and our E. So I just wanted to make sure that you all had your D and E hand shapes, and that you can kind of think of different things that start with a D or an E or how you might use that. That's more of a initialized signing for the D and E, but they're very important for clarity, and that's what you want to be with your communication with the deaf, is clarity. So I will see you next time for F. F.